Okay, hello. Today I have two questions to ask you, and I think those are questions that you must ask if you want to move on and to get realistic and to have a great life, because that's just really easy actually. It's just about what you think life is. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail at anything? Maybe you've already heard this question. It's a very interesting question. Just take the time, take a few seconds, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, just to ask yourself, what would you do if you were sure that you couldn't fail at anything, anything at all? What would you be doing right now? That's a very interesting question, because if you really play the game and you stop the video maybe and think about it, you're going to see that you have a lot of things you would be doing, a lot of things that interest you, that you are really enthusiastic about doing, about trying, about testing, a lot of things. And that's already certainly a big revelation, something very important that you realize, because we don't ask ourselves this kind of question, because most of the time we are already, closed in our mind, and we know that a lot of things are just impossible or certainly too difficult, and we don't even consider, what if I try to do something? If you ask yourself this question, I guarantee you're going to find that you have a lot of things that you're really enthusiastic about in your life, that you would really enjoy trying, doing, experiencing. So that's already a very good question that we should ask ourselves more often. More often. And the more we ask ourselves this question, the more we know how many things have some interest in our life, how many things get us enthusiastic. And from this question, we have the first step. We know that there are some places we would like to go in our life. And most of the time, we don't even ask ourselves this question. We don't even know what would be of interest for us in our life. What do you want in your life? Most of the people at certain, maybe not when you're very young, and I'm not even sure, but after a certain age, most of the people don't even know what they want in life, just a better life. But what is a better life? More money, and then what? What do you do with this money? Okay, you have more money, you have won the lottery, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of time. What do you do? Oh, it's great. Yes, what do you do? Well, most of the time we haven't even thought of that. So that's really the first question. Now, I've read somewhere that we start to get old when we stop to have plans. And that's true, I really think. When we don't even have, those ideas of, what could I do in my life? What can I try to reach in my life? Then I start to feel depressed. Nothing is, it's just, I continue my life, and I'm waiting for the end of my life. Basically, that's it. If there's nothing that gets me enthusiastic, there's just no enthusiasm in my life, what's the point? There's no life in my life. There's no enjoyment in my life. There's no pleasure. So what's the point? Just to have a good meal here and there, a good chat with a friend, and basically that's it. Watch television and nothing really more. Buy some things just to fill my life. Just don't remember that my life is so boring. No. So yes, really, I think we must have plans, things of interest in our life. And I also think that has been true for me at certain level, degree. And I think that's the problem with a lot of persons, that when we are young, we say, I have plans, I imagine a lot of good things in my life, a lot of great things. It's just I'm in the process. Maybe I'm still studying, or I'm just starting to work, so it just takes time. I'm just doing things that will certainly lead to great things in my life, and at least I hope. But after a few years, we just can see that life hasn't brought us what we had planned, that we haven't reached the level or the place we thought we would have reached by that time. And then we start to get a little depressed and we lose our confidence in our ability to reach great things in our life, to live great things. But maybe just the problem is it's obviously that we made things not the right way, because certainly the best thing we have to remember is that the best way to learn anything, the best way to reach any level in any area in our life, is just by trial and error. When we remember that, there's no problem if we fail at something, because we know that's just part of the process. That's just how we learn. Just the very good example is how have we all learned to walk? By trial and error. We fall down a lot of time. We stumbled a lot and a lot and a lot. There was no doubt for anyone that any baby could walk at some time. It's just a matter of time, just a matter of experiencing the process and getting to master it. And that's it. That's just trial and error for everything. But when we grow up, that's not exactly what we learn. Either we are good or we are bad. And if we fail, well, we think we are bad. If we have tried once, twice, or 3 times and we have failed, we are just a failure. We are not good at that, and it's very depressing. Maybe we haven't even tried to do that another way, and that's why we have failed 3 times in a row. But anyway, it's just the problem is that we don't reconsider our life. We don't reconsider a lot of things ourselves, and we're not good or bad. We are experimenting, and that's certainly the biggest problem that prevents us from moving. Because once we have understood that, you can look at anybody who has achieved great things in their life. They all have failed a lot. That's just part of the process. They failed a lot because they acted a lot. They took a lot of actions. They had big plans, motivating plans, and they took actions. And so obviously, yeah, they did a lot of things. And through the path, they stumbled a lot. So they failed a lot in a way, but they also succeeded a lot, because that's just the same path, trial and error. And the more you take action, the more you learn, the more you move on, the more you reach better things. So certainly we have a bad idea of how life should be and how life is actually. So trial and error is a good thing. So once we have that in mind, obviously, I ask you the second question is, what is really failure? What is really failure, and what are you afraid of when you think of failing at something? When you have failed at something, why haven't you started again? First of all, okay, maybe you think you were a failure or not good at something, bad at something, and okay, I stop. But why don't you try maybe new things? Even if you thought you were bad at something, why don't you try a lot of new things that you have never experimented? And certainly the answer is because the fear of the failure. It's most of the time that's something like that. Even if we have troubles to be honest with ourselves, but that's a big problem. Failure, the fear of failure. And what is this fear of failure? Especially if we know that trial and error is the best way to move on, and that's the rule in a way. That's how we live great things, because even to reach a great results, it's very good, but the process by itself, where when we reach great objectives, is already great. When we're on the path, confident that we're going to succeed to do great things, we are full of energy, enthusiasm. That's already great. That's already a great life. And yes, we are going to reach great things, but we need this state of mind, this life already when we want to achieve something. And for that, we have to know that trial and error is the best way. So to stumble is not a problem. To stumble means that I'm doing something, I'm taking action. And so that's just perfect, because I'm moving on and I'm obviously learning new things, and I'm obviously moving on. So that's a great thing. Stumble, not stumble, doesn't matter. That's the process by itself, and that's great. When you have that in mind, where's the failure? Okay, the failure is most of the time also that's the problem, that we have an image of ourselves, either good or bad, and we don't really want to show our weaknesses. We don't want to appear as weak, and our image, we have an image that we try to expose to others, and we would like that others see ourselves a certain way. And if I'm exposing myself by doing things that are risky in a way, where I'm going to stumble, well, this image is in danger. That's what I talked in the previous video, and that's really a tricky thing that prevents us from moving. But that's completely made up in our mind. And for that, I would suggest that we change our image, the image of ourselves. Everyone who has achieved great results in their life, you can try to look at great people on internet, you'll find a lot, and their way is very always the same. They stumbled a lot because they took a lot of actions, and they succeeded a lot also. So maybe you could just change the image, in a way, the ideal image of yourself. The ideal image of yourself is you are someone who take actions, who do a lot of great things with a lot of enthusiasm, and you test, trial and error. You test a lot of things, you continue, you move on, and obviously you're doing a lot of great things by trial and error. If you have this kind of image of yourself, and not as someone who is either perfect or very bad, or something like very straight, it's either one or the other. No, it's both of them. I'm good and bad, and I'm just trying, testing, and moving on, and making great things. If I change my image, that's much easier to be able to take actions without the fear of failure. Okay, so I really encourage you, look at a lot of people who have made great things that you really admire. Find them on internet, find videos on them, find readings about them, about their life, and you'll see that that's exactly how they are. Who cares what it will give? Who cares the result? And that's how they moved on. So change this image of yourself, and things will become much easier for you to move in your life, to achieve great things. Okay, so that's, I think, what will lead to a great life, by changing this image, taking actions, and remember that everything that you can improve will be made by trial and error. So let me know what you think of all that, how you do in your own life, and that will be great. I see you soon. Bye.